Hi, welcome to a special edition of TV Unleashed. I'm Sammy, and as you can see, I'm channeling my inner psycho today because we watched a Psych movie last night. And I apologize in advance to all my neighbors for all the screaming and squealing I was doing. I was just watching the Psych movie. I just want to make that crystal perfectly clear. Just excited about things that happened in the Psych movie. And James, welcome back. What did you think?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it ranked up there with some of the better episodes. I like the way they pulled everything in. I mean, they even got Wait, are we allowed to give any spoilers? I mean,
Yeah, it already aired on both coasts. Spoil away.
okay. I'm glad that they even made McNabb, you know, show up in there at the end. That's his name, right? The
The
other
co-
cop?
yeah, very, very
Yeah,
briefly, but you barely even saw him. It was like blink and you miss it moment.
but he was there.
Yes. I was just like looking for him, and I'm like, oh my god, he's there. I wish he would have had a bigger part, but I think if Lasseter would have had a bigger part, we would have seen more of McNabb because they ended up being partners in the end. And speaking of, Tim Omenson had about a minute and a half part in there talking on FaceTime with Juliet. As we mentioned in the last episode, Tim Omenson had a stroke right before filming, so they had to cut his role drastically. But I thought that was a beautiful speech that he gave.
Yes. And, I really thought we were going to see Vic's husband
I did
because
too.
they kept hinting at it. And even Juliet's looking up the stairs going, where is he?
I like how she was in on the joke too, because like we always saw the chief, but we never saw any of her family. And
Right.
we heard the baby cry once in the nanny episode, and that was pretty much it. And I think Iris was mentioned maybe twice throughout the whole series, other than that. So it was nice to see Iris, who was the Chief Vic's daughter, who actually had a pretty major storyline. I was surprised they went that route, and they kind of made her a little bit of a bad girl with petty thievery, if I could speak English, petty thievery to steal phones and stuff from people to fit in with the mean girls. And also I have to say is teenage girls, don't ever do that. No, it's not worth it to try to impress the mean girls.
No,
Save it for Facebook and in the future.
I was just going to say it's never good to do something to try and impress somebody else, something like that. You know what I mean? I mean, doing something illegal to impress somebody is actually a very stupid thing. I know. Trust me.
Yeah, I can't say I know, but I've done stupid things to try and impress the popular crowd, and it wasn't worth it in the end. And I look back and I'm like, oh, gosh, Sammy, what was wrong with you back in the day? But I think they did really well with her. And I liked in the beginning, they didn't even make it look like it was Iris that was stealing. It was just like some random kid. And I thought in the beginning, actually, and I put on our Twitter page, TV Unleashed 1, I thought maybe Juliet joined Big Brothers Big Sisters, and that was a girl she was mentoring. I didn't realize until later on that it was actually Iris that she was mentoring, in a sense.
Now, one thing I'd like to bring up, which, it's kind of a little off track since you're talking about Iris, but going back to the fact that they opened the Psych office and it looks like the shop from Gremlins. I never thought of Gremlins as a Christmas movie until last night.
I know, right? That was crazy. And they even changed the name to Psych Francisco.
Leave it to Sean to come up with something stupid.
Always, always. And I'll tell you, one little thing I was disappointed about is Gus really didn't get a nickname from Sean this time. I mean, we had millions of nicknames: Lavender Gooms, Gus TT Showbiz, Dynasty. I mean, the list goes on. And I figured we'd at least get one or two decent nicknames. That was my only baby disappointment that I had.
Well, actually, Gus gave Sean a nickname. He called him White Privilege.
Oh, yeah, I did hear that. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I thought that was pretty funny. And Gus got a woman. He got a woman finally. And that's actually Julie Hill's fiance in real life.
Well, she seems like a psychopath. I mean, like another nut job that he needs to avoid at all costs.
I kind of liked her. She was a sassy little thing. I kind of liked her.
She scared me.
Remind you of a few exes?
You know, I've had girls like that in my life, and you just run the other way. Far and
Fair
fast.
enough. Oh God, for people saying that, I would hate to think what any of my exes think of me.
They think you're wonderful.
As they should, as they should. No, I'm kidding. I'm
That's
kidding.
right.
And it was just like a big old reunion, and like random people coming back, old recurring characters coming back. It was absolutely amazing. And but I've got to say, my favorite of all time, Woody, the coroner. Oh my gosh, she came back and he had a bit of an attitude on him.
I really love Zachary Levi as the bad guy.
Of course, how can Zachary Levi? He plays bad guys so well.
Yes, he plays anyone so well. I love Chuck. That was a great show.
It was. I missed that show, and I miss seeing him. It was like wonderful to see him last night acting, and he pulled off that role so well.
I had to do a double take because I'm not used to seeing him with blonde hair. I know he has blonde hair in the Thor movies, but I was a little surprised. I was like, wait a second, who is that? So I had to pause it and went, holy crap, that's Zachary Levi.
He did so well in that role. And we also had Ralph Macchio back as the cop. He was in the Police Academy episode. And again, you know, he was adorable in his dorky sort of way, very, very sweet. And it was very interesting to have him back. I actually thought when they were going to bring back some of the cops, they were going to bring back the guy from New Kids on the Block, Joey McIntyre. Well, there's always a second movie they could do that for. And the Mina Suvari came back, who was the Yin Yang apprentice, and Jimmy Simpson as Mary Lightly. I was like, the whole time I was like, he's back. He's back from the dead. It's a dream sequence, but still, he's back.
I love him on Westworld as William.
Yes. He is such a talented actor, and I'm thrilled that Psych saw his talent and brought him back for the movie.
Yes. I really, well, since we're allowed to give out spoilers, I like the whole Allison Road, Gin Blossoms song that he was doing with Sean. That was good.
That was really good, and it really so Mary, because Mary was like the most eccentric character you can think of, and seeing him on the show like that, I was just laughing so hard at that part.
But it was, I thought they did an excellent job. It was a great way to bring the series back.
You think it's going to come back, or are you thinking they're going to do more movies at this point?
I think they'll do more movies because the way it ended, it didn't end.
It didn't end. John Cena. Another reason why I was in my apartment screaming, and again, apologies to my neighbors. John Cena, I love him. I'm a big WWE fan, and just to see him come back, especially since I don't think anyone really remembered him as Juliet's brother, and I don't remember if he went off to jail or what he did, but his character was disappeared, and have him come back to bring a wedding gift and then bring the guys on the run. That was a perfect way to end it without ending it.
I'm just glad that Sean got the wedding ring back.
Yes, and that was like the biggest subplot of the movie, just trying to get that ring back. Because, like we mentioned in the other episode the other day, the series ended with the ring getting stolen, and I figured they would forget about that; it would never come back, or eventually he got her another ring. But the fact that he cared so much about her and got the ring back—that was just so perfect.
I like the fact that they actually made it 3 years, though. It's been 3 years, which the show's been off for 3 years. And 3 years transpired in the show time. So,
yeah. And it seemed like they weren't going to make it for a while in the movie, with the way the chief was talking and the way Gus was talking and the way he never referred to her as his fiance. I figured they were going to break up at the end, but I'm glad they actually did get married, and everyone fought to be Juliet's maid of honor.
Well, I'm glad Vic got in there and took over from Gus's psycho.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why she did it. She just met Juliet. I'm not going to go meet someone and be like, yo, I'm going to be your maid of honor. I mean, she needs to have a little bit of class, but...
And what was her name? Selene or something like that?
I think it was Celine.
Well, that's the way it was spelt, but not the way she pronounced it.
Yeah, she had a little pronunciation.
Yes, I had closed captioning on, and it's like, wait a second. It's spelt Celine, and she's pronouncing it this way. That's like Sade. That always bothered me. It's like we don't pronounce it Made. No, it's made. So Sade should be Sade. But hey, it's her name, you know.
Can't really argue with that. And it was just, I can't believe they gave Iris such a big role again, and then she got kidnapped, and it really showed the chief in a different light. I had talked to Kirsten Nelson from my other site about that, and she said this is the first time you're really going to see Chief Vic in a vulnerable kind of motherly cub role coming out, and she nailed it. That was amazing. She did really well with being the mother cub, and that girl that played Iris was absolutely amazing too.
Has she been in anything else? I didn't look her up.
Right, I was looking on IMDb and I couldn't find anything about her, but I don't think they added it yet. I think they're waiting until the movie airs because they didn't want to give it away that she was going to be in the movie. But she got me with that line when that girl called her and she's going, "You're rich and gross and blah blah blah," and everybody knows you stuff your bra. Classic Mean Girl line. I mean, I can't tell you how many times people said that line in middle school and high school to girls. How many girls said that to each other?
I went to an all-boys school, so nobody stuffed their bras.
I could say something else, but we got to keep a little bit of a G rating to this. But I could say something, but I'll tell you when we're off air.
Okay.
But I thought that was really good, and just the whole thing. It was just a beautifully made movie. And if they do bring another movie, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, of course, they're going to be on the run with John Cena. And we're going to find out what's in that box. Because remember, he said, don't drop it and don't break the packaging. Or something to that effect. So, could be a bioweapon in there.
Yeah, but why would he give it to them? I mean, if I would have a weapon...
I know, give it to the most inept people in the world to hide it. But
exactly. I was like, what are you doing?
I have to say, the 12-year-old mentality that I have, when they were talking dongle, I just kept laughing because it's like the Scottish word for something, Lottie, I was seeing my dongle this morning, it just.
No, I'm right there with you. I was laughing about that too, and it was just absolutely amazing. I can't even stop talking about how much I loved the movie. It was just that good. It was like coming home again. I mean, you and I, we have such a history with the show. It was just like coming home again, and just the fact that you and I get to share this together is even better.
The only thing that would have made it better is if I would have driven to you and we would have watched it in the same room, drinking pineapple vodka.
Yes, I had pineapple rum actually that I found.
Pineapple rum, yeah. I saw you had the bottle.
Yeah, $10 at the store that's right around the corner from my job. I was like, it's a sign. I needed something pineapple, and I had these pineapple fruit snacks that weren't that good, but maybe after enough pineapple rum, I'll be able to eat them.
Speaking of pineapple, I think that was the most blatant placement of pineapple in any Psych episode. When he pulls up the pineapple. Yes, he pulls out the pineapple and he says, "Should we cut this up before we go?"
Don't you remember that was from the first episode?
Really? No, I don't. It's been that long since I've seen the first episode.
Yeah, that was exactly how the pineapple came into it. He was going to Gus and saying, "Oh, we're going to go. We have this case. We have an adventure," and all of a sudden, he grabs a pineapple. I was like, "Should we slice this up for the road?" And that's how everyone loved it, and that's how the pineapple became the whole thing.
I remember when I first went, we were looking for pineapples until we were in. Corbin Bernsen's character.
Henry.
What was that?
Henry.
That's his name. When we were in Henry's house, I mean, there was pineapple stuff there, but we looked for pineapple stuff wherever we went.
Yeah,
I remember walking around the sets.
Yeah, and then they purposely hid pineapples other places too, so we could find them. And speaking of Henry, his 7/8 life crisis is becoming a hipster apparently.
That was funny. I liked that. I thought it seemed to fit him.
It did. I mean, he looks good. I mean, Corbin looks really good, and just the fact that he's a hipster when he was just like this tight ass guy who was like, you know, always in the suit and or the Hawaiian shirts, and always like, how many hats, how many this, how many that, and just like very straight laced. And seeing him become a hipster was just so ironically funny.
But he did go fishing at the end, which was, you know, more his way of doing things.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you can't have him not go fishing. I mean, that's part of who he is. I mean, I'm sure he did it in a very ironic way, though. And he still helped with the case, which I thought was good. And my one disappointment was I wanted to know what happened with his job. Because in the series finale, he became a professor. And I was wondering what happened with that. Did he just finally decide to give up everything and retire for good, or what?
Well, it's possible that's what led him down the path of hipster.
Fair enough. Some of the students that he had, but if he were a professor in real life, I would totally take a Henry Spencer class.
It'd be more interesting than a Sean Spencer class. You would at least get something done.
He was a teacher, though. Remember, he taught this psych blah 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 class when he was trying to go undercover in that all boys school, that school of all geniuses, or whatever it was.
And I'm sure they learned nothing.
No, they did learn a lot, and they caught a murderer while they were at it. But I have to say, my favorite line of the whole entire movie was when someone asked Woody who he thought he was, and he goes, "I'm assistant coroner, bitch." And he started apologizing for saying the word bitch, and I'm just like laughing. I'm like, all he needed was a finger snap and a little sass, and I would have been like so perfect.
I did like the ninja.
Yes, that was the bad. I loved the ninja too. That was crazy.
And it was funny at the end as they're arresting him. He's like, "Oh, well, congratulations. Well, you know, he's just a guy doing a job. It's understandable." Make excuses for the guy. He tried to kill you.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with that, but oh gosh, there's so many good moments, so many good lines in that, and I just absolutely fell in love with the movie, and I hope they make a second one.
I honestly think if the ratings are good, and they should be, there's a lot of buzz with this, and a lot of my friends on Facebook are still talking about it. So I'm going to assume that we will be seeing a second Psych movie.
I think so too. And like I said, C. Franks was saying that they want to make it like Fast and Furious and make it like a whole movie series that bring one out every year.
As long as they don't do it at Christmas time every year, because it's my least favorite time of year. So, you know, I don't want a Christmas movie every year from Psych.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be Christmas themed, though. I mean, there wasn't a lot of Christmassy stuff in this.
Well, they kept showing Christmas trees and mentioning Christmas, and
yeah, fair enough. But it wasn't like out there like there's some of the Christmas episodes they had, like the one with Sean and Gus's sister, and I forget the other Christmas one, but there were several Christmas episodes. At least it wasn't blatant like that. They just said it was the time of year.
True.
So, yeah, but I don't know. I hope if they do have a second one, they make it more Lasseter based.
Well, we hope he gets healthy and he's able to come back.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've been following him on Twitter. It sounds like he's really doing well, and he looked good in the few seconds he wasn't there. I mean, it was obvious he had a stroke, but he did. He looks really good. And the one line that got me, that almost made me cry, when he says, "Every day my daughter asks me, every night my daughter prays to God that Daddy comes home for dinner," or something to that effect. And that just got me. As the daughter of a cop, the niece of a cop, that hit me right here.
See, I remember when he talked about his real kids during our first interview. It's a story that cannot be repeated on here. It was hilarious.
Yes, and he does love his kid. He's just such a good guy. I loved him so much. He's just such a good person, and just like, I want him to get well. I want him to do well, and I want him obviously back as Lasseter, but more importantly, I just want him to recover because he's just so wonderful, and there's not enough good things in the world to say about him.
I still remember the very first time I met him. I shook hands with him, and I have a very firm handshake. And I shook hands with him, and he jerked his hand back, and he went, "You broke my hand!"
I remember that. That was hilarious.
And it's just, I have a very firm handshake. I believe you should shake hands firmly.
You
Those
do.
dead fish handshakes just don't work.
I remember that as well, and he's hilarious. Actually, the whole cast, you can't say anything bad about anybody in the cast. They're all just so wonderful, so amazing, and oh God, you can't say anything bad about anything involving the show. I mean, everyone from the crew to the cast, everything. They're all just.
And it's good. There's a possibility they're bringing back Psych in some form.
Yeah, I mean, I think it had to like take a break from it for a while, and then because there's so many fans, they were able to come back to it. But I think it needed a break for a little while because if they would have just continued it the way it was, I think it would have gotten stale. But I think this was the best way they could have kept it fresh.
Yes.
Like fresh like pineapple.
There's a local store here that actually has pineapples for $1.49 a piece. And I keep thinking, this might be the week to go buy a pineapple.
Yeah, I was going to. I have an Aldi here. And I think it's $1.49 too. And I was going to go get one.
It's Aldi. I didn't want to drop names. Yes, Aldi.
I love my Aldi. Shout out to Aldi. I mean, I have one like right around the corner from my apartment, and I'm always there because it's cheap and good quality food, and gotta love it.
Did you know, now since we're talking about it, did you know that Aldi is actually broken up into two different divisions in Europe? And here you have Aldi's, and the other part of that is Trader Joe's.
I did know that. Yes.
See, so, here
I
thought I only knew that.
No, somebody posted out on Facebook a few weeks ago, so I kind of that's how I get all my knowledge through social media. But one thing I noticed that what they usually do, but they didn't in the movie, is they didn't do any product placements as we name drop Aldi. Yeah. They usually have the Joppa dogs or they name drop something, but they didn't do that in the movie.
Oh, why'd you have to say Joppa dog? There's a flashback.
Yes, because we went there. You, me, and Diane, we all went and we had it. Oh, now I want a Joppa dog.
They actually had opened one in New York, and I stopped there, and it closed. It was on 8th Street. It closed, which is sad.
Yeah, they don't have anything like that in Pittsburgh. So, Joppa dog, if you're listening, bring one back to New York, bring one to Pittsburgh so we can have it. So, what was your favorite quote from the movie? Now that I shared mine.
Oh, okay. This is, and it's not because I'm a guy.
Okay.
But it's the scene with the blonde assassin chick. I forget what they called her. And she's like, look at my thighs. Look at my thighs. It's the last thing you're going to see. And it's like, yeah, that reminded me of a James Bond villain, Xenia Onatopp. She killed men with her thighs.
Yes.
And that was Famke Janssen who played her. And I kept thinking, yeah, what a way to go. That would be a good way to go. Yeah.
I'll take your word for it. But I believe that, what was I going to say? But yeah, I believe she's also in the WWE. So that was really good. I'm surprised they got a lot of WWE stars to make little cameos. But I love Psych. I love the WWE. So it was perfect for me.
Well, USA does have that, connection with WWE. So.
Makes sense that they would do it, but yeah, yes. I was really happy about that. And they got, like I said before, they got so many good guest stars and so many little obscure things from past episodes that you would have forgotten about.
I'm just upset that, those army guys at the end might have destroyed the shop. I mean, Sean was working so hard to get it to look like the shop from Gremlins.
I know. Well, now that's just another reason why we need a second movie to find out what happened to the shop.
I did like the fact that John Cena brought up that it looked like Gremlins, and he says, so where's Mowgli or Mowgli or whatever the Gremlins are actually called? And Sean says, oh, we had a licensing problem. And I bet they really did.
Yes. That was cute. I like how they bring all these random 80s references in, and what we'd have to do for the second one is have to bring back the Tears for Fears guy, and so he can perform again.
There's so much they can do. I mean, they have, how many seasons was Psych on?
8.
8?
8 seasons, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, they have so much that they can draw from. so many past characters, so many guest stars. It's just, it's a shame they can't bring Zachary Levi back. Although they could in a dream sequence.
That's true. I mean, they brought Mary Lightly back, so yeah, a dream sequence for that. And of course, the other tiny little disappointment was no William Shatner.
I know. So, see, that's what they could do. They could bring Shatner back because he's pissed because Sean didn't show up to go to Jamaica. So he comes back to defend his little girl.
Yes, they got to do that. That's a great way to have him come back because William Shatner in anything is awesome. And I think it was hilarious. He played Juliet's father.
I think if they do a second movie, we need to get onto the set.
Yes, we got to figure this out. It's got to happen. It's just got to happen. I mean, we love Psych, and we've been on the set, and it's just got to happen. There's no two ways about it.
Yes. It was funny. I posted pictures from our last set visit on our Facebook page and my personal Facebook page. And all I could think of was, wow, that was a good time. And I really miss those shoes.
And those movies that we got afterwards, those were epic. I've not had anybody make one that good since.
It was good times.
It was, and that sushi that we had and everything.
Vancouver's great. Shout out to Vancouver because we love our friends up north.
We do, and Diana, if you're watching, you got to let us know what you think. I know you haven't seen it yet, but you got to let us know what you think when you watch it.
Yeah, she posted something on Facebook about there was no listings for it.
In Canada, where it's filmed. I mean, that
makes no sense.
I don't understand that. Come on, son. That's the other
Come on, son.
That's the other thing that made me laugh when they did the suck it thing. They're like singing about it. Suck it. All right, tell me your mind didn't go to the gutter with that one because my mind was like, this can be taken so many different ways.
Yes. But, I wish I had a friend like that. The relationship that Gus and Sean have. I mean, I have a friend that we have a close relationship. We've known each other for decades, but he's old. And he'll even say to me when we're out, he goes, you still drink like you're in your 20s. It's like, well, I still act like I'm in my 20s too. And he's become this old man. So I need to find a Gus.
Yeah, I need to find a Gus too. I mean, I have some pretty close girlfriends, but I don't know. We never had any adventures like that, but I'm sure we will one day. I mean, we're still young yet. I'm sure we could pull it off.
Life is too short to not have adventures.
Exactly. I mean, I don't think I want to go as far as them on adventures because I would run the risk of getting murdered or arrested, but we could go on a few fun adventures. I'm down with that.
Trust me, there are worse things than getting arrested.
I don't know about all that, but before we end, I want to say they gave a tribute to our Terry, and it made me cry.
Yeah, I was pleased to see that.
Yes. And if those of you that didn't tune in the other day when we did this, Terry was a publicist / social media guru for the show. He was an absolute amazing guy, a force behind Psych. The reason James and I are such close friends, we're friends with Diana and several of the other girls from the show. And yeah, I'm glad they paid tribute to him. It was a beautiful moment, and we love Terry. There's not enough good things to say about Terry. He's just incredible.
He'll be missed.
He will be. And again, cheers to Terry.
Vodka cranberry?
Pineapple rum cranberry.
Ah, very nice. Very nice.
So I had to improvise. I had to have something pineapple in his honor. But we are out of time. I want to thank you again for coming on. You're always welcome to come on when you want to talk about a TV show.
No problem. Hey, can I plug my site real quick?
Go for it. Yes.
Yes, please follow Geekstronomy on Facebook, Geekstronomy on Twitter, Geekstronomy on Instagram, and of course, Geekstronomy on the web.
Yes, it's an amazing website. I love it. And you started this website with your two hands, with your bare hands, and it was
All by
amazing.
myself.
Yes, and that is something to be very proud of.
It's been going 6 years now, so yeah.
Yeah, big 6. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, and we are out of time. Thank you again, and tune in Sunday at 7 when Mandy will return. She'll have tons of good news. She's up to some amazing things this week, which is why she couldn't join us. And we will be back to discussing and snarking the Golden Girls. Thank you. Tune in. Bye.
Bye.